Hi everyone, hopefully you are having an amazing day. I'm Mohammad Naeem Amin Bhatti and today we are going to discuss the play by Henrik Ibsen. The name of that play is A Doll's House. So first of all, we discuss the biography of Henrik Ibsen. The life of Henrik Ibsen is basically such like a life of a real person or the realist person. Henrik John Ibsen was born on 20th May 1828 in Skien, Norway. He was basically a Norwegian playwright and he was died on May 23, 1906 of a complication resulting from the series of the heart strokes. He was a poet, playwright and an essayist. Sometimes he wrote under the pseudonym of Brynjolf Bjarme. So this was the name through which he wrote his different type of the controversial things which were not acceptable by the society at that time, and it was his pen name at that time. He considered the pioneer of modern drama because he broke away from the romantic traditions of 19th century theatre with the realistic portrayals of the individuals. If we talk about his theatrical traditions, he has changed the theatrical traditions from exaggerated suspense and mistaken identity to the scenario that closely resembles to the everyday life. So basically he was talking about the day to day life, and he was also used the realistic dialogue and he was going to use the commonplace events and the symbolism, and he was exploring the elusiveness of the self knowledge and the restrictiveness of the nature and the traditional morality. So he was the person who has given the drama a new direction. His characters are strong individuals who comes in conflict with the oppressive social mores of the 19th century Norwegian society. Ibsen himself says that I prefer to ask, tis not my task to answer. So actually, he put a question mark on the society with the tradition which were at that time practiced a lot, and people were using those traditions. He made a question mark and put a question mark on those traditions. If we talk about his three phases of work, the very first one phase is early dramas written in the verse and the modeled after the romantic historical tragedy and Norse sagas. And if we talk about phase 2, it was the prose drama concerned with the social realism. A Doll's House was written during this phase. And if we talk about the third phase, it dealt with the conflict between art and life, where he shifted his focus from the individual in the society to the individual alone and the isolated. So his phases discuss the different parameters of his lives and different scenarios of his life and changes in his writing works. So, A Doll's House, the Norwegian name Et Dikajam, A Doll's House was published in 1879 and was launched in premiered at the theatre in 1879, is considered a masterpiece of the realist theatre. The plot concerned the collapse of the middle class marriage and sparked the debates about the women's right and the divorce, and it considered the innovative and daring because of its focus on the psychological tensions instead of the external actions, and he created a new acting style in his drama, and which was pretty much required at that time, and emotions be conveyed through the small controlled gestures, shifts in actions and pauses. If we talk about the groundbreaking breaking in that it caused the drama to be viewed as the social commentary and not merely the entertainment. So the tradition was changed with the theatre and by Henrik Ibsen, because he was a realist and he used to write the drama in real perspectives, and basically A Doll's House is a feminist play. So let's have a quick look upon the character analysis of this drama. The very first character of this drama is Nora Helmer. She is the wife of Thorvald, the mother of three children, and is living out the ideal of the 19th century wife. She is very obedient to her husband, and she used to take care her house very much, but leaves her family at the end of the play. Torvald Helmer is Nora's husband and a newly promoted bank manager, and he suffocates but professes to be numerous of his wife. Dr. Rank is a rich family friend of the Helmers, and he is secretly in love with Nora, and he is terminally ill and is implied to that his tuberculosis of the spine originates from the venereal disease contracted by his father. And at the end of this play, Dr. Rank left two cards on his name of the card written, the name written on the card. He put a cross by the black marker, which means that Dr. Rank is about to die and going to die. Christine Linde is Nora's old school friend, widowed, is seeking the employment, sometimes spelled as Christine. In English translation, she was in the relationship with the Krogstad prior to the play settings. Niels Krogstad is basically Niels Krogstad is an employee to the Torvald Bank, and Torvald has just fired him out of the bank, and he is the single father. He is pushed to desperation. A supposed scandaler, he is revealed to be the long lost lover of Christine, and actually he was basically working here with Torvald in his bank, but Torvald has given him the resignation letter of thanks and set him out of his job. The children, Nora and Torvald's children, name were Ivor, Bobby, and Amy. Anne Mary, Nora's former nanny, she was once Nora's caretaker, and now she is caring for her children. And Helene is the Helmer's maid. Here I have given some of the development of Nora Helmer's characters, and also I have described the Nora's clever side, that how she has done the forgery for taking the loans, and after that dispersion sets of the Nora and her character, and what were the circumstances through which Nora came to do such crime of forgery, and Nora's transformation is described here. You can see in the all the explanations here. And character analysis, I have explained the characters of Nora Helmer briefly, and actually Torvald Helmer and his pits and bumps and all the processes through which he and Nora both spent the life. And after that I have discussed the character sketch of Krogstad, and this is the character analysis of Krogstad. After that, Mrs. Linde, Dr. Rank, Bob, Amy, and Ivor, who were the children of Nora Helmer, and Anne Mary, who was the caretaker of Nora and Nora's children and Nora's father. So after that we move towards the summary and plot analysis of A Doll's House. The summary is quite simple, that A Doll's House opens on the Christmas Eve. Nora Helmer enters her well-furnished living room, the setting of the entire play, carrying several packages. Nora Helmer, Nora's husband, whose name is Torvald Helmer. So Torvald Helmer, Nora's husband, comes out of his study when he hears her arrive. He greets her playfully and affectionately, but then chides her for spending so much money and on the Christmas gifts. Their conversation reveals that the Helmers have had to be careful with money for many years, but that Torvald has recently obtained the new position at the bank where he works that will afford them for the more comfortable lifestyle. Moving towards the next slide, Nora inquires further about Mrs. Linde's life, and Mrs. Linde explains that for years she has came to see Mrs. Linde has came to see Nora at the Helmer's house. So she is actually advocating the Krogstad that Mr. Torvald Helmer should put Krogstad again to his position in the bank, and the job should be resumed, but Nora seems it to be the impossible thing. And after that, Krogstad started Nora making her actually he started Nora making his own such like that the Pat by saying that Nora should work for her and Nora should educate to her husband, but Nora was not able to educate Mr. Krogstad in front of her husband. Then Krogstad said that he will tell his husband about all the forgery that he had done and has taken the loan from his same bank from which he was fired. So that was a actually she is paying the debt all the time, and now there are a few installments which are left. And Krogstad, a low-level employee at the bank where Torvald works, arrives to process into the Torvald study. Nora reacts uneasily. Krogstad's present and Dr. Rank coming out of the study says Krogstad is morally sick. Once he has finished a meeting with the Krogstad, Torvald comes into the living room and says that he can probably hire Mrs. Linde at the bank. Dr. Rank, Torvald, and Mrs. Linde then depart, leaving Nora by herself, and Nora's children return with their nanny Anne Mary, and Nora plays with them until she notices the Krogstads present in the room. The two converse. The Krogstads is revealed to be the source of Nora's secret loan. So Helen, the maid, announces that the Helmer's dear friend Dr. Rank has come to visit. At the same time, another visitor has arrived. This to one unknown. The Nora's great surprise that Kristen Linde, the former school friend, she comes to that we have described in the previous slides, and she comes to visit and she educate the presence in her presence the Krogstad that he should be at there in the bank once again. So Nora's suspicious behavior leads Mrs. Linde to guess that Dr. Rank is the source of Nora's loan. Nora denies Mrs. Linde that charge but refuses to reveal the source of her distress, and Torvald arrives and Nora again begs him to keep Krogstad employed at the bank, but again Torvald refuses. When Nora presses him, he admits that Krogstad's moral behavior isn't all that bothers him. He dislikes Krogstad's overly familiar attitude, and Torvald and Nora's argue until Torvald sends the maid to deliver Krogstad's letter of dismissal. After that, Torvald leaves and Dr. Rank arrives and tells Nora that he knows that there is a close relationship of that loan with the Nora, and he will tell this reality to her husband. So after that, Dr. Rank came to their house, and when he leaves, Krogstad arrives and demands an explanation for his dismissal. He wants respectably and has changed the terms of the blackmail, and he is now insisting to Nora that not only that be rehired for the bank, but that he be rehired in the high position as well. So he is going to blackmail Nora. Otherwise, he says that he will tell her husband about her forgery and that deceiving behavior that she has adopted in her previous some of the years by taking the loan through forgery and by not telling her husband Torvald Helmer about that loan. So the next night, as the costume party takes place upstairs, Krogstad meets Mrs. Linde, and in the Helmer's living room, their conversation reveals that the two had once deeply in love, but Mrs. Linde left Krogstad for the wealthier man who would enable her to support her family. She tells Krogstad that now that she is free of her own familial obligations and wishes to be with Krogstad and care for his children. Krogstad is overjoyed and says that he will demand his letter back before Torvald can read it and learn Nora's secret. Mrs. Linde, however, insists he leave the letter because she believes both Torvald and Nora will be better off once the truth has been revealed. So that is the mistake which has been done, and now Nora's life would be in pretty much we can say that she will not feel easy through that situation. So soon after Krogstad departure, Nora and Torvald enter back from the costume ball. After saying good night to Mrs. Linde, Torvald tells Nora that he has described and looked as she danced. Dr. Rank, who was also at the party and has come to say good night, promptly interrupts Torvald advances on the Nora after Dr. Rank cards, each with the black cross above the name. Nora knows that Dr. Rank's cards constituted his announcement that he will soon die, and she informs Torvald of this fact. She then insists that Torvald read Krogstad's letter. So Torvald reads the letter and outraged he calls Nora a hypocrite and liar and complains that she has ruined his happiness. He declares that she will not be allowed to raise their children. Helen then brings a letter. Torvald opens it and discovers that Krogstad has returned Nora's contract, which contains the forged signature. Overjoyed that Torvald attempts to dismiss his past insults, but his harsh words have triggered something in the Nora. She declares that despite their 8 years of marriage, they do not understand on one another, and Torvald Nora asserts he is treated her like a doll to be played with the admired, and she decides to leave Torvald, declaring that she must make sense of herself and everything around her. She walks out, slamming the door behind her, and the last voice which came in the theater at the end of this play, and that is shutting up the door and slamming the door. If we talk about the plot, the major conflict is Nora's struggle with the Krogstad, who threatens to tell her husband about her past crime, incites Nora's journey of self-discovery and provides much of the play dramatic suspense. Nora's primary struggle, however, is against the selfish, stiffing and oppressive attitudes of her husband Torvald and of the society and the represents. If we talk about the plot, the rising action is Nora's first conversation with Mrs. Linde. Climax is that Torvald reads Krogstad's letter and erupts angrily. Falling action is Nora's realization that Torvald is devoted not to her but to the idea of her someone who depends on him, and there is a falling action, and after that the plot conversation is over. Major and minor themes we can discuss as major themes the roles and relationship between women and men, appearance versus reality, deception, the individual versus society, money versus materialism and morality, and the some of more major themes are parental and filial obligations, the unreliability of the appearances and the sacrificial role of the women. Some of the further criticism is here. If we talk about the major symbols, black hat and black cross are the major symbols. Fisher girl costume is the major symbol. The tarantula, doll's house, macarons, bird imagery, the Christmas tree, letters and the letterbox, and Italy and Norway are the major symbols in it. It is basically a realistic drama. Realism is the literary technique that attempts to create the appearance of the life as it is actually experienced. Common language is no highly poetic language, formal declaration, asides or soliloquies, everyday people and events, no heroes and savings of the kingdom, and opening of the eyes and the minds of the audience, and not melodramatic with the happy ending. Ibsen has given the foreshadowing technique in this drama. So, foreshadowing of rebellion against the Torvald, Nora's eating of macarons against the Torvald's wishes, Nora's preparations for the tarantal and her performance, and foreshadows Nora's cravings for the independence, Nora's struggle to earn money out of the part-time jobs in secret, and Nora saving her husband's life from the mouth of death. So these are some of the foreshadowing technique and realistic techniques which has been used by the writer Henrik Ibsen. So hopefully you have understand all the points in the lecture. Till the next video, it's goodbye from me.